And if this is anything like Facebook, it's already live. That still says setting it up. So might look direct to YouTube. Okay, and we're live. So I gotta mute it so I can't hear myself. There we go. Okay. So hopefully there's somebody watching this live. I don't see that anybody's watching it live. So this is, as I said in the Facebook group, this is a new way of broadcasting. This is live on YouTube. I no longer can access Facebook through Zoom because I guess I have a new account. So here we are. And if you're seeing it recorded, which I'm sure 99.9% of people that ever watch this will see it recorded. Hi. And welcome back to the Designer Spotlight. We took a bit of a hiatus. It had, I think, early January, late December was the last time we did one. And Karen and I really had a lot of fun doing it. So we really wanted to bring it back. And our first guest back is, a lot of you have seen him around the Facebook group. He is a master renderer. He is also very humble, so he'd never say that. But he is also our resident European guru. So I'm going to introduce everybody to Jacky Kreijkamp. He's right over there. Hi, Jacky.
Hello.
Hey, Jacky.
Thanks for coming.
Nice to be here.
Thanks for coming on and doing this. What really prompted me to to have you back as our first guest back after a few months off is you are you and I have been working together. We design together, and you are also my co-creator of the new Design Pugs Pro group. And we've had some really interesting conversations, and you seem to find American or North American design very interesting, and I find European design very interesting. So I thought it'd be really cool to have a conversation. And the really neat thing is Karen wasn't part of any of these conversations, so it'll be really interesting to see and hear her reactions to some of these things. And first, I'm going to ask you, if you wouldn't mind, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from, what your background is, and just kind of give us an overview of who Jacky is.
Okay, my name is Jacky. I'm original from Belgium, living now in Spain, in the sunny Spain. And I've been in the kitchen business now for 36 years.
Wow.
So
excuse me, guys. This is a call. I knew I was coming. I have my AirPod in one ear and my computer in the other ear, and this is live. So I'm going to let you continue talking, Jacky, and I'll be right back.
So okay.
For 36 years. Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah. I started in a shop. Didn't know anything about kitchens. 3 months on the road.
Oh, great.
So and gradually learned the business.
Okay.
And sold a lot of kitchens in the meanwhile.
So when you say on the road, were you a designer or a rep at that point?
No, I studied marketing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, but in that days, you were given the time to learn.
Okay.
So it took me about 3 months before I sold my first kitchen. And then I think the first full year I sold 120 kitchens. So wow. That's nice.
That's excellent. Yeah.
We sold a lot in that days. And yeah. And then the last.
What year was that, Jacky? Was that back in the 90s? About 1990 something? Okay. Yeah, the market was really booming back then. At least in the United States it was.
Yeah, but you hadn't that many shops who sold kitchens. So it wasn't so widespread as it now is.
Is it?
No, and people hadn't that much choice. You had white. We sold a lot of oak kitchens in that time, a lot. Mm-hmm. So it was a nice time. People were different. People were nicer. So yeah, it was a great time. And then the last 6 years, I had my own business, sold it, and moved to Spain. where normally went to pension, but still working. So,
Oh, okay. Now, are you actually selling cabinets now, or are you just designing?
sometimes, no. Sometimes I'm selling kitchens. I have a friend in Belgium, and we do some projects, mainly apartments, low budget, but in big quantities. So I do the designs, I do the calculations, he does the measurements, I do the order, and we have a team who installs the kitchen. So no problems at that place. So nice, but
Sounds
not
like
so
a
much anymore as yeah.
good, yeah, it sounds like you have a really good team that you work with.
Yeah, the installers are good. My friend is very good in what he does. So, and I just do the calculations, the renderings, the designs, and he just orders them and sees that everything is all right there. So, and we earn a little bit of money.
Which is important. Isn't that what it's
Yeah,
all about in the end, right?
it's nice. But then I began working together with Colin and designing for the North American market. It's totally different. It's totally different.
What do you
Designing
see?
is totally.
Go ahead.
No, it's the way people design in your country is totally different than in mine. First of all, we sell a lot more modern kitchens. And yeah, I think 85% is modern, and the rest is MDF or oak, but still less, more or less and less. But the way we did business is totally different. I didn't knew that in America most shops only sell cabinets. They don't sell the appliances. We did it all. We sell the appliances, we sell the cabinets, we sell the countertops. We do it all. We don't have to order hardware anywhere else. It's all delivered with the cabinets. It's much easier. So the structure, we can earn a decent amount of money on appliances. Normally, when we buy them, we have a discount between 35 and 40%.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a nice margin. Yeah.
And then you give some to the client, mostly about 15%. So you still have a 25% margin, and you need it.
Yeah.
We can't live alone on the cabinets because the percentage is much lower in Europe than in America.
Oh, for the cabinetry when you sell it.
Okay. Yeah. When we would only sell the cabinets and make money on that, we wouldn't do it. So
is Colin back?
I'm back.
Okay.
I apologize. I knew that I told you two before we did this that this would happen. You didn't tell the viewers at home what I'm going up against right now. So
Nope.
my mom lives with me, and she was getting foot surgery today, and I knew that I would get the call to pick her up right during this broadcast. So it happened. So I will have to probably leave it to the two of you to finish up in about 10 minutes. So but I wanted to just catch me up to Jacky. Did you talk about appliances yet? Because that was one of the big conversations we had. Okay. Yeah. About how, you would sell appliances all the time. As dealers, we don't have access to, and Karen, that's because of the buying groups and all of those folks have it sort of locked up, right?
Well, I think a lot of kitchen designers don't want to be bothered with actually selling appliances because they don't want to handle warranty issues and things like that.
Right.
So they might recommend a company that the client goes to, and then maybe they would give them some kind of a spiff or kickback for sending them. But that's not always the case. Some larger corporations that actually have kitchen showrooms in them that sell appliances. There's some places like that in America. I just don't know any of them around me.
Right. Well, the appliances are a very low margin item, and that's because of the big retailers, having control of it. It started with Sears way back.
That's
and
true.
Montgomery Ward. Remember Montgomery Ward?
Yep.
And
Then we've got Lowe's, Home Depot,
companies like that, right?
Yeah.
So it's really not worthwhile for designers to seek it out. There are some brands that have designer programs where they give them a discount and allow them to sell it, or they give them they match them up with an appliance dealer or something in order to have some sort of compensation, but it's not something that we do that often.
And how much is it? 5-6%?
Yeah,
or
it's
lower.
I think the retailers are somewhere between 10 and 12%. But that's, on a good day, a lot of times they'll have their loss leaders that, that they advertise that people will come in and, they might make under 10% on them. But it'd be neat to have folks that are that work at Lowe's and Home Depot in the comments here. Eric is here and Lynn's here and Jay. Jay, mom's good. Thank you. Actually, you probably heard I'm going to pick her up. And Eric, I believe you were at a big box store, and as was Jay. I'm curious about the margins. What are the margins like on major appliances? Do you know that? Anything that's not on the shelf at the big box stores is not a good value. So, that's sort of goes out the window. But
it's so strange to me that this happens. It really is. We also get enormous discounts on appliances for the showroom, also for the kitchens.
Wow.
Yeah. Then you go. In the early days, we got them for free.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
When yeah. And then you got a bonus at the end of the year. So it was incredible. That stopped, but we get a discount about 50-60% on appliances.
Yeah, that's
massive.
Yeah.
That's unheard of.
But then it's affordable when you have to do a whole showroom with 5, 6, 7 kitchens.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can't pay for it.
Right.
And then you had the possibility to pay it monthly in about 6 months.
Wow.
To pay all the showroom.
Well,
that's what I did.
That's very smart, because we know that every client we work with, at least I work with, are buying new appliances. So if we could provide them, it'd be great.
Right.
Of course.
Yeah. Erica put in the chat that the margin is about 18% typically. So, and that's probably regular prices. They're probably lower for sale prices. So it's interesting, it's really the purely capitalistic nature of America versus the rest of the world. I think that has a lot to do with this sort of stuff. It's just it's the way it is. But it's good that cabinets are good, are a high margin.
Yeah, we don't have the higher margins anymore. I think.
Oh, okay.
No, I think I did. I don't know how you guys work, but I did about 60% on the price of the cabinets. So I don't know how you guys do it.
Yeah, I think, in my market, we're able to maintain a 1.67 markup, or a 40% gross profit margin is where you want to try and be. But I know a lot of people are in very competitive markets and they don't have that luxury. They're more in the 35 and under gross profit margin, a 1.5, which is 33% profit margin, 1.45, 1.4. Some even do it at 1.3, but that's not sustainable when you have overhead. When you have
I did 1.6 and sometimes 1.8.
Yeah, that's a good place to be. So what about design? What are some of the funky things that you are that you are finding is strange that we include in our designs that you weren't really used to? Anything you can think of off the top of your head?
Yeah. So the appliances, dishwashers, we never sell standalone dishwashers. Never. Fridges are always built in. We don't sell as much side-by-side fridges as in America, but we sell fridges 24 inches, which were built into the cabinets.
You were telling me about that. Yeah. Say a little bit more about that. So those actually fit inside the cabinet boxes, right?
Yes. And it's easy. You have two systems. The one is when you have a door and you put the door on the fridge, which is built in.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't, the fridge is going open and close. That's easily the best system. And then you have the system where the how do you say it, the hinges still work of the cabinet,
right?
And you have to a slider on the door, so the door slides over it,
right? Yeah.
So
and that's truly integrated. That's truly integrated. Yeah. That's, what we sell, Sub-Zero and Thermador and the lines that have the integrated fridges and dishwashers are the same, because integrated dishwashers in Europe translate exactly to, and that's because a lot of the dishwashers we use are European. We use the Miele and Asco and Bosch, so that translates 1-to-1. But the refrigerators, that's really amazing that you integrate the refrigeration into the cabinetry. So, I've seen so many people struggle trying to get the refrigerator to look like cabinetry, and you can come really, really close, and you can come to, within, 5% or whatever, but
you don't see it.
That's not having it integrated into the cabinet itself, where you take a cabinet and you integrate the refrigeration into that. So that's really neat. And you look at it, you look at a space, and it's the whole, it's the clean lines. It's everything's flat and flush and neat. And clean.
You unpack the fridge, you shove it in, you close it, finished.
Yeah.
It's so simple.
So in Europe, do they use more separate units, like a separate freezer and a separate refrigerator, or do they have like we have the refrigerator and freezer?
No, most people buy a small freezer beneath with a high fridge above, and mostly they have a pantry where when they want a bigger freezer, they put a standalone there. But in the kitchen, mostly never. I think 80% is built in.
So can I ask you a question before Colin leaves? What made you come up with the idea for the Pugs Group that you started?
Really, that was something that I've thought about for a very long time. When it became apparent, probably a year and a half to 2 years into the Facebook group, realizing that the information wasn't getting to everybody. It was, when you're on Facebook, unless you are specifically locked in and coming into the Facebook group regularly once a day and going and looking at the feed in the Facebook group, if you're relying on your Facebook feed for that answer that you've been looking for or some topic that you're interested in, we go on Facebook and we scroll down two or three screens, and then we stop. And that is, if anybody who's been in the Facebook group a while might have noticed that the same question gets asked 3 or 4 times, sometimes within the same week. So the main reason really was to have a more intimate space where I, and now Jacky and Karen's there as a moderator, can spend more time with the group. It's more of a community. It's not Facebook where you're kind of relying on your Facebook feed to get the information. And, also the desire to give more regular trainings, just some, we're the weekly webinars, which is going to have to be late because I have to go pick up my mother. We've been trying to schedule them for 3:00 on Fridays, and it just hasn't worked out. Jacky had to go to the airport last Friday, and I have to pick up my mom this Friday. So it's kind of funny, but where we do deep dives into specific things within 2020. Last week we did it on 2020 Design Live. This week we're doing it on display settings, everything you wanted to know and were afraid to ask. So it just gives us the opportunity to be more intimate and to give more information. We're also going to be sharing a lot more SketchUp items, a lot more textures, just a better way to do that. So that's where that came from. Just sort of a desire to give more, and be able to give more to, the Facebook group is now, 2,600 people, something like that. So it's, it's just something that we, wanted to be able to give more. And it's difficult, if not impossible, to do in a Facebook group. And honestly, it's time consuming. So, the Facebook group is something that I started it's a labor of love. It's going to stay around forever. I don't plan on changing anything about it. It's going to stay free, but it's something that I really wanted to be able to offer more of myself. And it takes time. And it's unfortunately something that is impossible to do for free. I mean, I wish I were retired and rich and had lots of money and I could do that, but that's just not realistic. So, it's very modest. It's a $19 a month if you do it monthly, with $209 a year. If you want to do annually, you save a month's fee by doing it that way. And I noticed that Erica had mentioned that she joined because she wanted to learn more, and I'm hoping that that's the case, and we're planning on making that so does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think that Jacky's Work is basically, you would be the SketchUp expert, unless you and Colin are together.
He's a bit ahead of me on SketchUp. He's much more likely to build something in SketchUp than I am. I'm more likely to find a solution. I'm more likely to come up with a solution in 2020. It's kind of funny the contrast that I see. Like somebody in the pro group had asked about doing quarter circle shelves, and I would take a countertop and make it, a curve and be done. And then you can copy and paste that, but you can also do the same with some minor skills in SketchUp. You can also create that in SketchUp and bring it in. And it would be a very small item. It wouldn't be very, people worry about SketchUp bogging down their designs, and something like a quarter round shelf wouldn't really cause any harm at all. So that's another viable way to do it. And that's something that, we're going to be addressing over time in the membership. Is we're going to be doing a lot with SketchUp. We're going to do, some basic stuff. We're going to do some just integrating into design. So we're going to be, doing lots of stuff, SketchUp related, texture related, all that, all those things.
But I did yesterday I did something for the Facebook group with the sloped ceiling and the open cabinetry.
Right.
Yeah. So when you want the solution, you have to go to the underground. It's immense work. I did it in 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. So you have to wager what is easy, what is fast.
Right.
What we're going to teach them so that they can make simple things in SketchUp, import them, texture them, and render. It's easy.
Right.
So,
right. Yep. Yeah,
we're not going. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, and I was saying how you can take like custom shapes and you can tilt them, but you can't see them when you tilt them. They don't show up as a 2D object, but where if you do it in SketchUp, it does show up properly. So
yeah,
there are definitely pros and cons of doing it both ways. I didn't really want this to turn into an advertisement for that. It truly wasn't my intention.
No, I did that.
Hopefully, I know it's okay. Hopefully people.
I think it's interesting how you two developed the relationship.
Yeah, it was.
I think you have mutual interest.
Yeah, definitely.
Too much.
I have too many ideas, and Jacky has too much time on his hands and ideas. So it's a perfect relationship.
Perfect match.
So, hey, Jeff, that's Jeff Arlett. He's a friend of mine who's an installer. So I'm going to have to cut this short. We are going to do this every week. It does seem to be, I think we have 6 people watching on YouTube. I think we typically had 4 to 5 watching on Facebook. So this might be the better medium. And then as soon as this is done, I think it's going to process a little bit, and then I will just post the link back in the Facebook group for folks to just come and watch the replay.
I have a question for Karen.
Oh, okay.
How long does typically take it to place a kitchen in America? When you have a medium-sized kitchen, how long are they placing on it?
You mean like drawing it?
No.
To install it
in real time.
To install it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Boy, average size kitchen. Well, it all depends. Sometimes the kitchen can go in fast, but we might be waiting for granite countertops. So from the template date, it could go out 2 to 4 weeks waiting to get the countertops back. So that seems to be, some companies are running 1 week, but since COVID hit, it seems to have gotten longer. So I think that's really what holds up a kitchen install, because the guys can install them fast. Putting the cabinets in. It's just
how long does it take to put the cabinets on with no countertop?
No countertop, say an L shape 10 by 14.
Yeah, with an island. Yeah.
I'd say a day or two. If they're moving fast.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a bunch of guys could do it in a couple hours.
Yeah.
We did it we do it in 2 days. Everything placed, appliances placed, and countertop placed. Finished.
Wow. 2 days. Wow.
Yeah, max. Oh my God.
Hey, if we could do that over here, we would sell like hotcakes.
Yeah, but in Europe,
like that.
We get the kitchens. They are wrapped around in carbon. In how do you say it? They're wrapped.
Yeah.
In plastic?
No. In carbon.
Cardboard.
Yeah. So
cardboard. Yeah.
We load everything on. We go to the client. We unrip the hardboard. Everything is on feet, so we put the feet on it, so we don't have any problems with floor that isn't laying
leveling.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, leveling.
Yeah. So we put everything on max 2 days, and everything is with installation of the appliances, countertop, doesn't matter.
Your countertop on the truck when you arrive at the house already done. So you're just going off the measurements. Okay. So they're not having to come in and what do you call it?
No.
Make a template. Sometimes, right? Sometimes when it's more complicated, they do.
Yeah.
Right?
Then they do the measurements out, and then it's about 6 days, 7 days, and everything is ready.
Yeah.
Do you
That's
think
about
there are
the same.
companies in America that are running that way if they don't have to template the countertops? I would think so.
Right. Yeah.
And how many guys are on place? 2?
Usually 2. Yeah.
Okay, that's the same.
Same.
Yeah. A lot of times
that was a question.
Go ahead, Jacky. What was I? Sometimes they're one. I was just going to say, there's the gentleman that's in the chat, Jeff Arlett. He's a one-man show. He does it all himself, and he gets a kitchen installed in about 2 days. So it really depends on the skill set and how many tools they have at their disposal.
My first installer was also one guy. I helped him unloading, and he took right off max 2 days on his own. Wow. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's when you that's all you do is install cabinets, you can do it very quickly.
Yeah, you can be fast.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to end this. Jacky, thank you. No problem. Karen, thank you for reviving this.
Thanks, Jacky.
I'm so looking forward to doing this every week, and I think YouTube's gonna be a fun platform. It was so much easier to go live on YouTube than it was ever to do on Facebook. So I'm looking forward to it. So thanks, guys, and we're supposed to be doing our webinar in the Pug Pro group at 3. I will probably be closer to 3:15, 3:30. So Jacky, if you could post that in the Pro group just in case they're not watching this. I know Eric is watching, and just let them know that we'll be doing it. Just it'll be a little bit late. So
say hi to Mom for us.
I will.